Salam, and welcome back to Let's Wake Up, our journey together to become the creations we were created to be, not the creations we're living as now. Last week we spoke about the physical body and how it's controlled, or all its movement is via the mind. Today we covered the mind. My favorite body and probably the most neglected one. Most neglected one meaning throughout my life in school and after school and all the information I acquire, very few of it revolves around the mind. Me and you, maybe we learned that the heart has 4 chambers, but that doesn't change our life in any way, shape or form, unless you're a heart surgeon and this is your daily job. The mind, however, lets you achieve everything you desire. It allows you to do that. That's its job. Let's go right into it. Your mind is divided into 2 parts, conscious and subconscious. Let's take them one at a time. Consciously, your mind is a thinking mind. It is capable of processing 2,000 bits a second. 2,000 bits is extremely impressive. If you see a flower, that final image of it being a flower is actually a combination of many bits. You see that it's a stem, you see that it's green, you see that it has leaves and then it has petals. You get the idea. These many bits come together to form a single image. Your conscious mind processes a very impressive 2,000 bits per second. It's only a thinking mind. It doesn't do. It's incapable of doing. It's what you use to accept or reject information. If I tell you now, the sky is not blue, you will either accept this information to go into your subconscious mind as the truth, or you will reject this information and say no. If you reject it, it doesn't go into your processor or hard disk or your subconscious mind. Meaning your conscious mind is like your desktop or your ROM of the computer, where you open the computer and go around all the desktop, you surf the internet, you open files. Whatever you don't save into the computer and you switch off the computer evaporates. Your conscious mind is exactly the same. Whatever information you gather around you, what you choose to accept goes into your subconscious mind, what you reject doesn't. Again, it's only a thinking mind. It's incapable of doing. It's what you use to acquire new languages, new skills. Let's take driving, for example. The very first time you decided that you want to know how to drive, it was pretty complicated for you consciously. Because with 2,000 bits, you have to process so much. You have to process the key, going into the ignition, changing gears, stepping on the clutch, watching the mirrors, watching cars come from all over the place. 2,000 bits, that's why at the beginning it's very hard to do. But then after a while it becomes autopilot. It becomes part of your habits, a program that goes into your subconscious mind. So your conscious mind is a thinker. It's a filter for what information you want to gather in or know. And it has the capability to accept or reject and think left or right, good or bad. Great, let's put it aside. Let's step now into the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, on the other hand, is only a doer. It's incapable of thinking. And it's actually what moves your entire body. If you think you move your body consciously, you need to think again. The biggest proof I have for you is, who wakes you up at night to go to the toilet? Not you. Your subconscious, in your sleep, wakes you up and says, "Oi, we need to go to the toilet." In that aspect and in that sense, all of your body is controlled by your subconscious mind. If you're crossing the road and something comes flying at you, or a car comes flying at you, you move out the way and then you realize. And that's because your subconscious mind processes, check this out, 400 billion bits per second. This is a fact. So your conscious mind, that we're all very proud of, and I'm very intelligent and I have so much information and I learned and acquired so many skills, that does only 2,000 bits. It actually doesn't save any information. It doesn't save any habits. Your subconscious mind does 400 billion bits per second. And that's why, after a while now, if I tell me in detail, how did you drive from point A to point B via your car, you won't have an answer for me. You will tell me I decided to go from here to here. But in the process, I was probably on the phone or listening to music or doing something else. That's because your subconscious mind, which in this case is your RAM, like your computer desktop, that's your hard disk, it takes all the programming and it acts accordingly. Everything that you think about and decide to do and accept goes directly into your subconscious mind and becomes your reality. Becomes reality meaning it becomes a fact and your body starts acting to do accordingly. Your entire body, including obviously your mind, is electrical. So if your whole body is electrical and it follows the energy law where energy attracts like energy and it must grow and multiply, the question is, what energy is your body producing? What vibrations is your body vibrating at? That is the key of life. Where are your cells vibrating on the world's frequency? And that is solely dependable on what you're thinking about. Meaning, your conscious mind is a captain of a boat. And then you have 400 billion crew members. These crew members are incapable of thinking. They're only doers, and they're there to serve you and protect you. Remember, when you're crossing the road, if a car comes flying, you move out the way and then you realize. Or if a friend of yours is joking with you and pokes you, your reflex will hit him in the face and then you'll go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Why? Because your subconscious did the movement and it's there to protect you. And it doesn't know that this is your friend. It doesn't know that this is negative or positive. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, your subconscious mind does not process negative. Does not process negative meaning, if I tell you now, do not think of a red rose. It just gave you an image of a red rose. Do not think of the color blue. You just saw blue. And that's because it's incapable of processing negative. It doesn't know negative. The no's and the don'ts get deleted. So if I'm late for a meeting and I'm thinking, oh, please let there be no traffic. Please no traffic. Please no traffic. What happens to us is you leave the house. Maybe there are 3-4 routes to take you from point A to point B. You end up being in the most crowded and traffic one. And you go, how did I get here? You got yourself there. I'll tell you how. Your body vibrates based on your commands. And energy attracts like energy. So when you tell your body, please no traffic, when you tell your mind, please no traffic, it removes the no. So now all you're thinking is, please traffic. You will vibrate on a frequency where there's traffic and energy will attract like energy. So you will end up being in traffic. The biggest problem we all do is we communicate to our subconscious mind what we don't want. We don't tend to tell it what we want. We all want money. Many of us think, I want to be rich. Majority of us think, I don't want to be poor. When you say I don't want to be poor, the I don't want gets removed. The I don't gets removed. What you end up saying to yourself is, I want to be poor. So your 400 billion bits, sure boss, you're the boss. You're the captain of the boat. So you order it to vibrate on poorness frequency. Because you're saying, I don't want to be poor. Don't think of the color red. You thought of the color red. I don't want to be poor. You think poor. That makes every single cell in your body vibrate on the poorness frequency. When you say, I want to be rich, your body is now vibrating on the exact opposite frequency, which is I want to be rich, and energy will attract like energy. So if you're thinking I want to be rich, everything around you will attract richness. Because you are, at the end of the day, a gravitational force. You're producing vibrations. Those vibrations are attracting like vibrations. The whole world is on a frequency. So if you're thinking, I want to be rich, your body must vibrate on the richest frequency. And that's how our whole life works. Let's wrap up what we just said. Your physical body is incapable of having its own willpower. It takes its orders from the mind. Your mind here, specifically your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is what takes all the habitual stuff. It has all the programming and software of you from the time you're born. Everything about you is from the subconscious mind. All your physical movement is happening from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is incapable of thinking. It can't think, I'm going to vibrate on this today, or I'm going to vibrate on that today. It takes disorders from your conscious mind, your thinking center. It's actually what puts us on top of the animal kingdom. It's what distinguishes you from anything else alive. Your thinking capability. Your capability of thinking, this is right or this is wrong. I accept this or I reject this, or I want to acquire this information. Once this information is required, your subconscious acts accordingly. And remember how I said last week, every single cell in your body is listening to your internal organ, is listening to your internal dialogue to know how to act. It needs to grow and multiply. That's what it's there. If you're alive, you're vibrating. If you're an electricity that's vibrating, you must multiply and grow. You must attract like energy. If that stops, that means you're dead. You no longer exist. So if you're alive and listening to me now, this is what you're doing. This is a fact. You're vibrating on a certain frequency. And that frequency that you're vibrating on is attracting the exact same thing, likewise, that you're vibrating on. That decision of vibration is solely, simply decided via your pineal gland, your conscious mind, your third eye, al-nasya, whatever you want to call it. That is your thinking center. Whatever you decide to think, whatever you decide to do, every single cell in your body will follow. Remember, it doesn't do negative. And remember, it works only for you. So the next time you communicate to yourself, you need to stop saying what you don't want and start saying what you want. We need to stop saying, I don't want to be poor, and start saying, I want to be rich. We will cover more into the mind in other shows. But for now, comprehend everything that we just collected about the physical mind, the physical body, and the mind-body split into two. I'll see you next week where we'll cover the soul.